You're listening to Homeschool Unrefined. I'm Maren.
And I'm Angela. Let's encourage each other, laugh, and get real about homeschool. Welcome to the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun. You've got episode 84, Nature Series, How to Raise a Wild Child, chapters 9 and 10.
Welcome, everyone. We are so glad you're here, and we are at the end of the book.
Yeah.
Been reading it all summer.
We have. It's been great.
Super excited to talk with you about the last couple chapters today.
Yeah. So if you haven't listened to our previous episodes, we've done 3 previous episodes about this book. You could go listen. You don't have to. You can just jump right in here too.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the other ones later. However you want to do it.
Yes, definitely. We want to give a shout out to our Patreon, our patrons, our Patreon members.
Yep.
However you say that. We're so thankful for you. You are making this happen for us. And we love getting to know you in Patreon because we do. We get to know our patrons and it's been so fun.
Right.
We love that.
It has. So if you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, you can go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined.
Yes.
So Maren, I saw on Instagram today that you just kind of scrapped what you were going to do this morning and went to the nature center.
Yeah.
Was that this morning?
Actually, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Okay.
Yeah. But I decided I was going to post it yesterday, but you posted a bunch of stuff and I was like, that's all good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Wait. I'm holding off till tomorrow.
I'm always impressed when you just kind of pick up and leave.
Oh, it's my MO. It's how I work the best. I'm impressed when people can plan. So
yeah, I feel like I'm always hesitant to just pick up and leave. I do like to be spontaneous, but I'm always hesitant to just things aren't going well, drop everything and leave.
Right.
I don't know why. Because I feel like if things aren't going well, I gotta make it better here. Fix it here.
Right. Well, I think sometimes just everybody's disposition needs to be better and then we can handle it better.
Yeah,
we can
right.
talk about it better in a few hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
After we've all
smart
taking care of ourselves better. Yeah. So, yep, we went to the nature center and it was perfect timing because there's a garden area.
Yep.
And for some reason the kids all wanted to just go to the garden area today.
Okay.
And I think because, they get to water all the flowers or all the veggies and sometimes they get to pick them. There's a lady out there that was, she was working there and she asked my kids to help harvest a bunch of vegetables.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
it was, the change was palpable from the time, from when we were at our house and people were grouchy and tired and fighting and hungry and just everything was going wrong.
Yeah.
How it is some mornings. And then to watch them just start picking vegetables, it was just night and day. It was
That's
completely
awesome.
different.
Yeah.
So I just felt now I can breathe again.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
What'd you do this morning?
So today was full of phone calls and you know how I feel about phone calls.
I know. I feel the same.
I
Can't
know.
do it.
Who likes phone calls? I don't know, but I don't.
I think Jeremy doesn't mind them. I don't know why.
Yeah, Sean either probably, but I think it's because they do it for work so much.
Yeah.
Maybe they're used to it.
I don't know. Yeah, I've become less and less tolerant as I've gotten older.
I will spend 20 minutes looking for an email address on the website.
Oh yeah,
instead of calling somebody. But today I had to make some phone calls to our insurance.
Yeah.
I know, and then to other healthcare providers to see what's going to get covered and whatever. All these questions, and I have to call them directly because. It just otherwise I don't get a straight answer. Yeah, exactly. So I just have to get this done with. And I told my kids, I took deep breaths before I got on the phone and they were giving me a pep talk. They were like, you can do this, Mom. You can do this.
Wow, that's nice.
I know. And one of my daughters made me breakfast while I was she's like, I'll make you some breakfast. So then when you're done you can have this, a special something to eat. I know. So they understand.
That's so great.
And that I had a hard time with it, but they also love it because then I'm not watching them. and they can just go. They've got a little
See,
freedom
my
zone.
kids, I feel like they're kind of like toddlers, where as soon as I get on the phone, they need me, and then I go into my room and shut the door, and then they come in anyway, and I'm like waving them away. I'm on the phone. It's like they don't see it often enough to know, like, this is, you just leave me alone when I'm on the phone.
Well, and the other thing is, I think one thing that helps me when I'm on the phone is I use my earbuds, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because for some reason, I feel like putting that phone up to my ear, I don't know, I can't move normally. It's just, I have to use my hands or something. I have to walk around. I don't know what it is, but
yeah,
if I have my earbuds in, I can talk more, just like a normal person.
Yeah.
For some reason, psychologically. But then when I have my earbuds in, my kids just think I'm not on the phone.
Yeah. They start talking to you.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm on the phone trying to mimic.
Yeah, exactly. Big actions, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, how about you? What did you do this morning?
Well, all my kids are in free basketball camp this week.
Sweet.
Yep. Which is great, except it's like younger kids in the morning, older kids in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just doing a lot of driving.
Oh, so you have them in both.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And my kids all really wanted to do it because they like basketball. We have a basketball hoop. It's one of their favorite things to do. So they wanted to go to this camp, and I'm glad for it, except it's 2.5 hours in the morning. It's like 9 to 11:30 and then 1 to 3:30. So I'm kind of doing a lot of driving.
It's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
And
then,
so are you?
go ahead.
But you're getting a little bit of break, but just not from everybody.
A little bit. Yeah. And except this morning, I don't know. I'm not a dog. I'm a new dog owner still. I'm claiming that I'm a fairly new dog owner.
Yes.
This is the first dog we've had, and it's only been a year. So I feel like I'm just getting my feet wet. I feel like the vet needs us to come in like once a month for something. And I'm starting to get frustrated with this. Like,
oh no.
Like the vaccines, which maybe your dog came with all the vaccines.
They did.
Vaccines.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, because our dog didn't, we found him. So they don't know his history. So they want him to have all the vaccines.
Yep.
So doing all that, and then there's like boosters for all the vaccines. and then
Sorry.
Also, what?
I'm just giggling about that. I think they're important. It's good. But also, it's just funny. It's funny because you're like, what? I did not even.
This is
not my plan.
More than I go to the doctor or my kids.
Yes.
Way more.
Spending more time and money on this dog.
I am. And then he has to have flea and tick stuff, which Jeremy took him in for.
That we have to do.
Flea and tick and heartworm, and they're like pills, right? Jeremy took him in. He came home with them. He's like, this one has to be once a month, and this one is once every 3 months. So I have all these reminders set up on my calendar.
Oh, seriously?
After they run out, I'm like, now what? It's been 3 months. Like, I only got a 3-month supply. So then I call the vet. They're like, yeah, you're going to need to come in and get some more. And by the way, he needs to get tested for this. We don't have that in the records. I'm just like, can you give me 1 year's worth? Can I come in once a year? Give me your 1 year's worth of things.
Can you give me like the dog owner person who's like only 25% into this deal? Like the minimalist, the dog minimalist thing. Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, so from our vet, we got for heart, like I'm sure everybody wants to know this, for heartworm and flea and tick medicine, it's like once a month, both of them.
Okay.
And we just do it once a month, and
it's like a pill you put in his food.
It's not a pill.
Oh.
It's the flea and tick stuff is stuff we put on his back.
Oh yeah, there's different kinds.
Yep. Okay. And that's just once a month, and then the heartworm is just like a chewy thing. It's like a treat.
Oh.
Yeah. But he loves it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Maybe you want to get on that plan.
So I went in today, and then afterwards they gave me this printout like with my receipt, and it showed all the dates I've been in. And it was once a month.
Remind me.
It's been once a month for like the past 6 months at least. So anyway, I had a vet appointment this morning.
Okay.
In between.
And you brought like one of your kids?
No, I left them at home. And then,
oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Look at little alone time at the vet.
Kind of.
Not
really.
No. It's true. It's true.
Anyway.
All right. let's move on
Yes.
to our final few chapters of
Right.
How to Raise a Wild Child by Scott Sampson. I have so enjoyed this book, and I really loved how it ended, too.
Did you? Good.
I did.
Interesting. No,
Are we starting off with some dissent there? No.
No, I will. Okay, so chapter 9 is called Dangerous Liaisons, and it's about
Yes.
technology and nature. And I was like, he kind of, talked about the perils of technology.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Maren's not going to like this. But actually, I kind of agreed. I was like, he kind of was a little bit, what's the word? Like, he just had kind of a negative attitude about technology and the future.
I think at first he did, especially when he
Yep.
was talking about the perils of it. And then he talked about doing, what did he call
Yes,
it?
the hybrid.
Yes.
Yes.
The hybrid model.
Yeah.
He's like, do the hybrid model. So I think that's good. I think he starts off a little heavy-handed. Even the very first page when he's talking about this story, he tells a story about how he goes out into nature with this group, and they see something, or they're learning about something, and everybody gets out their phones to write a little note about it, and then he's like, and I get out my notebook or something. like he's super proud of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I mean, okay, settle down just a little bit.
Calm
there.
down.
Calm down. I mean, you're right. It's great. I think it is great to have notebooks. I think there's a reason why he brought that out the very first page of the chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but then, yeah, you're right. He did come around and he was like, look, technology's here to stay. Yep. And when he says technology, he really means screens, he said.
Right.
It's here to stay.
Right. Because technology really, I was thinking this before he defined it. He's like, I was thinking in my mind, we cannot be afraid of technology. We're using technology every day. When we use a fork, we're using technology. Yep. When we're using our refrigerator and washing machine, that's all technology that we love every day. So I mean, there's a part of that we just have to we do embrace. We just do.
Right.
We don't even have to.
And I can't remember what chapter this was in because I don't have it underlined. But he was saying, nature and technology have always existed together.
Yeah,
Humans have
right.
always used technology and nature. Like, for example, like a fishing pole.
That's such a good point. It is. I think that's so good. And so we just have to, I think we just have to make sure that we get that good balance. I mean, I think it's true. He talks about how we sometimes fear the natives, which is when he's talking about fearing the natives, he's talking about young people who've grown up with technology as their native language.
Right.
And even, I mean, you and I even did to a point.
Right.
I mean, we didn't grow up with internet.
He called us something else. What did he call us? People 35 and older?
Digital immigrants.
Digital immigrants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is what we are. You're right. We are that. But I mean, even compared to our parents, they're even more of a, digital immigrants than we are.
Right.
We started out with internet, I suppose, like in college, really.
Right.
So that's different. Yeah. So we sometimes do fear the native, the digital natives, I guess is what he called them. But, because they're so intertwined with it,
right.
with technology,
right.
with screens. Right. So, and we have to kind of let go of the fear, but also figure out how to use it in a healthy way.
Right. Right. He says that the more high-tech our lives become, the more nature we need. Actually, he's quoting Richard Louv when he says that.
Right.
The more high-tech our lives become, the more nature we need. And I feel that is true for me. Like, I feel when I am on screens too much, it's when then afterwards I am craving nature. I just need it more than I ever felt that I did before.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Even today after I was on the phone all morning
Yeah.
And I noticed the kids were all like slipping back into screen time, like without me noticing. They just, "Oh, she's on the phone, so I'll go find a screen or whatever." And this is me freaking out about screens. I freaked out. I like took the screens, hid them, and said, "We are all going on a walk right now." It's this knee-jerk reaction.
I do that too.
To the screens. Yeah. And so, yep. And so that I think I want to get better at that knee-jerk reaction to screens.
Yeah. But at the same time, they knew the rule and they were breaking it.
No, so. You're right. But I also think the more I get angry about screens, the more that their relationship with screens is going to be unhealthy.
Yeah.
The more I get angry about it. So like if I can deal with it in a healthier way, because they see me kind of being fearful of those screens. And I didn't want them to be on screens. I don't want them to be on screens all the time. And yet I can do other things to make it better.
Right.
Than just me being angry about it every time
in the moment.
Yeah. Yes.
So he proposes a hybrid model, which he says is basically when you readily switch back and forth between the digital and physical worlds.
Yes.
Which is kind of what, that's what our kids do.
I would say you're right. Do you ever fear? I mean, this is the fear coming out in me, though. Do you ever fear that they're just leaning so much on technology, like too much?
Yeah, I do.
Me too. So,
all right. Sometimes I'll think, have you been outside today?
Yeah.
And so I want them to, I don't know. For me, I have to consciously get outside. I have to say, I'm getting outside today. Yeah. I have, when am I going to get outside today? Did I get outside today? Or I need to get outside again. And so I'm always thinking about that. I don't think they're thinking about that.
No, totally not thinking about that at all. But I wonder, will they when they get older?
Yeah, gosh, I hope.
I know. Well, I hope if they have positive experiences out in nature, they probably will more. If I'm yelling at them to go for a walk outside, probably less excited to go out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, even Sean is less excited about, he likes to get outside. I will say that, but I think I have to be the one to be, like, let's go eat dinner outside tonight. On the deck or something. 'Cause it doesn't even cross his mind. He's like, I'm home. Like, let's just eat and move on with our night. Right. So, even eating outside though, I think is
good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So he brings up again the spotlight consciousness versus lantern consciousness,
which I loved.
I loved it too. Loved it so much. So spotlight consciousness it is like a narrow directed attention to something, and it blocks out any other stimulus. So this is what you do when you're like reading a book or when you're looking at your screen or something, when you're focused on one thing. And then there's lantern consciousness, which is like being aware of lots of different things at once.
Right.
Kind of like what you do when you're in nature. When
walking
all
through
your
woods.
Yeah, all your senses are open.
Yes. You just notice everything and take in so much.
Right. So he says we need both. We need both of those kinds of attention. And young kids are becoming increasingly skilled at the spotlight consciousness. That's what we value. That's what they talk about in schools, like focused attention.
Exactly. That's what we do when we're focusing on one subject and we're going to finish this project or whatever. That's you're working on your focus on one thing.
Right. And we've kind of like forgotten about the lantern consciousness and how important that is.
Yeah. I thought this was such a good point, and not just about nature versus technology.
Right.
But just like in life.
In life. Yeah.
So good. I feel like because we cannot necessarily put a sticker or like a a value on going for a walk in the woods, like we can't say A. You get an A for that.
Yeah.
Because you took in all the senses and, you know, your output is this or whatever, because we can't.
It's not measurable.
We can't easily measure it. Yeah. It's so we don't value it. We don't value it because we can't put a number on it or a letter.
Yep.
As much. So we just as a society don't do that. We don't think about that as value. Right. Oh, which is so sad.
So sad. So I thought this was super interesting too. He's again he's got this idea from Richard Louv, who wrote Last Child in the Woods, which is another good book. Okay. Today's students and the rest of us who work and learn in a dominating digital environment expend enormous energy to block out many of your senses.
Yep.
In order to focus narrowly on the screen in front of your eyes. That's the very definition of being less alive. Mm-hmm. When you're trying to block stuff out. And I just thought that was so interesting.
Oh my goodness.
Like, yeah. I am trying so hard to just use my eyes or whatever and not everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is what we ask of kids so often.
Yes, I know.
And we think it's there's something wrong with them when they can't do that.
And I loved this part of that same quote.
Okay.
Few today would question the notion that every person, especially every young person, has a right to access the internet. Mm-hmm. Whether through a school district, a library, or a city's public Wi-Fi program, we accept the idea that the divide between the digital haves and have-nots must be closed. But all children also have a right to develop a wider spectrum of their senses and mental abilities, to know the real world, and to be fully alive.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We do nothing about that.
No.
Really, for so many kids. I mean, It's really, I feel like nature is like mostly for for kids who have, I don't know. Well, who are maybe privileged.
You think?
I do. I think a lot of it is because I think in an urban environment where, parents are working so hard and they're working to just get food on the table and clothes and pay the bills, that like nature isn't happening for them.
Right.
It's just not in an urban school. Not really.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. This whole book is, one of the focuses of the book is nature mentoring.
Yeah.
And parents need to take the lead and get their kids outside and be a mentor. That is a lot of work and time and energy. And that's hard to do when you're busy working hard for other things.
Yep. Yeah. So true. It is. It's so true. I mean, just out of necessity, I think it just gets slipped to the side.
Right.
Because of just the society that we live in, really. I mean, we have to pay the bills and we have to work. We have to learn how to work to make money. And so, man, that really hit me though. That really hit me.
Yeah.
That we make sure everybody has internet. Like we make sure that.
Right.
Super important. I mean, we give iPads to almost like elementary students get iPads to get their work done. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I do not think there's really anything wrong with that. I think that's probably an efficient use of technology for so many reasons. And yet, what about the priority for nature?
Yeah.
Like, how are we making sure our kids get out into nature? Because the more technology we have, the more nature we need.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So
yeah, I love that.
Yep.
So he also talks about, if these are gonna coexist, if technology, meaning screens, and nature are gonna coexist, what are some ways that we can leverage screens to get kids outside?
Yes.
So, one of those ways is photography. He talks about that.
Yes.
And videography and apps. There's a lot of great apps, which he talks about those.
I looked up a few. I think we should talk about some of our apps that we use.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
What do you have any good apps that you like?
I like the Merlin Bird ID app, which I have talked about before. Do you have that one? Yeah, you do.
We use that pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that app for identifying birds.
Right.
Yep. And you can also just listen to bird songs. I mean, so you don't have to identify a bird that you see. You can just try out some bird songs.
Right. I like geocaching, so I have a geocaching app.
Do you do that? Do you do geocaching?
Yeah. Okay. So I was just inspired when I was listening to the last few chapters. I was like, I have to dig that out again, because what happened was we had the app, we were doing it all the time. This was a couple years ago.
Okay.
And then the app stopped working, and I never checked into it. And then I just looked it up, and they like redid the app, and you have to download a new app, which is why it stopped working for me. Okay. So I just recently downloaded the new app, and now you have to pay if you wanna. There's some free geocaches, but then if you want more, you have to pay. So
yeah,
I am wanting to bring that out again because my kids love that.
Okay, that's great. The last time we did geocaching, it was at a state park.
Oh yeah,
because they have some geocache devices, but they're not great.
No, they're not great.
They're not great devices, so it kind of put a damper on it. My oldest still really loved it. A couple of my kids actually loved it.
I think they would love it with a phone.
Yeah. I just need to do it with a phone.
Yeah.
It's just going to work.
Maybe next time we do Adventure Co. We should do that.
We should.
Yeah. I want to.
I wonder who would be interested in that.
Oh, I'm sure they all would.
A lot of people. Yep. Yeah. Do you have any other apps that you really like?
I don't. Do you?
I use Garden Answers app, and you can just take a picture of plants or flowers, and it'll try to identify it for you. It'll give you a few choices.
Wow.
So, which I really like, because I don't know. I do not know my flowers and plants.
Okay.
But great. I love trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then one thing, All Trails.
Oh yeah, I do that one too.
Mm-hmm. So, and that just gives you, wherever you're at, it gives you great trails to go on, and like how like the elevation and how far they are and all that kind of stuff. So,
hiking
and then
trails.
you can, I haven't done this, but you can you record in there like which trails you did? And
I don't know. I don't do that. I don't do that either. I just go and look.
Okay. Well, I know there are so many. I did look up, I Googled nature apps, and I mean, there are tons. Yeah. I know that Scott Sampson in the book talks about iNaturalist.
Right. And I have that one. I've never used it.
Yeah.
It sounds cool, but I think somebody told me it was really amazing, and I downloaded it and have not used it. So
same. Me too. Okay. Exactly. Okay. It's on my phone, but I have not even signed it. Okay. So I can't say. There's also one called Mynature Animal Tracks.
Okay.
Have not used it, so so you know, I'm not saying it's great, but I know that it's out there. So if you're looking for an animal tracker, right, prints, that would be great. So I know there's some more. If anybody has a great nature app, we'd all love to hear about it.
Let us know for sure.
Yeah. DM us or join our Facebook group, Unrefined Homeschoolers, and we can talk about it.
For sure. All right, let's move on to chapter 10. This is the last chapter, and it's called The Rewilding Revolution. So in this chapter, he made a case for rewilding our spaces, especially our urban spaces.
Right.
Which I haven't really given much thought to ever.
I know, yeah. Yeah, and he was saying, and I didn't know this, 80% of Americans live in an urban environment.
Yeah.
Which is
amazing. He was saying that, so rewilding is basically reintroducing native plants and animals into a space.
Yes, like local, local to your environment.
Right, like what was there?
Native, yeah.
Thousands of years ago.
Right. Which made me want to just replant my whole yard.
Right. Well, he did say it starts there. Starts in your yard.
You're right.
So you can do that in your yard. But he also, he made the case for cities being the place to start that, because he said, the whole United States, that's really overwhelming.
Sure.
But cities are a good place to start because actually mayors can get a lot done.
Right.
They like have the most influence. So he feels
Which,
like,
isn't that interesting?
yeah, interesting.
Mhm.
So he was saying that it's not too big and it's not too small of a space. It's actually a good space to get started, to start with that. So I like that he talked about I think he lives in Denver. And in
Yes.
Denver, gosh, I might be getting this wrong, so forgive me if I do.
Yeah.
But I think they're creating like enough city parks so that every single resident is within a 10-minute walk of a natural space.
Yeah.
Did you remember that reading that?
I don't remember exactly how far, but I think Denver wasn't Denver one of the cities he was talking about that is like trying to get on this list of, they call them biophilic cities.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so they're talking about how conserving and restoring nature isn't just like really good for the environment. It's like essential.
Yeah.
He was saying it's like we have to plan it in. You can't just, try or whatever. So
Yeah.
he was saying Helsinki, Finland, and Anchorage, Alaska are two
yes.
great cities who do that right now.
Right.
So
yeah.
He also did give a shout out to a library in St. Paul, Minnesota.
I know.
So proud. I didn't even know about
Have
this.
you been there?
Not since they redid it.
Oh, I have been there. They have like a nature area attached kind of to the library where you can sit outside and read.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like we have a library near us that is kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's similar.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh. It was cool.
So exciting. I'm so proud of St. Paul. But even just green roofs and those kind of things too are easy things to just add to a city.
So he also talks about Richard Louv again, who obviously must be a I don't want to say mentor, but somebody he looks to. Influential to him. He said that the 20th century was a time of nature conservation, and he thinks the 21st century must be the area of nature restoration.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was good.
Which is, I think, right on.
Yep.
Totally. And then a lot of this chapter was some reviewing of things we can do, like now.
Yeah.
Like you said, Angela, the fuel for this restoration is going to be mentoring.
It's going to be us with our kids.
Yep. And he was saying it starts with like walk around your block. Just go for walks around your block.
Right.
So simple. Just start as young as possible. And it's okay if you haven't started yet.
Yeah.
It's okay. Whenever you start is great, but begin as young as possible.
Right.
Let your kids get dirty. I thought was so good.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that as my daughter the other night was making a potion on our deck. She's been making these potions with dirt and grass and wood chips and water and then she got out some cinnamon. Not sure how I felt about that, but I mean, I just was like, it's okay. It's okay.
This is good.
Yep.
This is good. Yep.
Cinnamon I was not super excited about, but But yeah, I mean, I just had to let that happen. And it really, honestly, it's when my daughter, and I think this is true of so many kids, it's when my daughter is the most calm and the happiest.
Right.
When she's out there getting dirty.
Right. I know.
And that really says a lot. We have to pick up on those things.
Right. Yeah. He also talks about, the things that he mentioned before, like a sit spot, having a sit spot.
Yes.
Just a place that you always go to observe nature.
Yes. Yep.
I've been trying to do that myself a little bit. I haven't really introduced it to my kids yet, but
yeah, but that's so good that you do.
Yeah.
Really
and then like story of the day.
Oh.
Do you remember what that is?
Yeah,
telling
about...
me a story of the day.
Yeah.
Asking your kids, like, I forgot how he said it, but
I mean, tell me about what you were doing out there. I saw you found a big stick. What was that? What was going on there? Like just kind of to get it started. Anyway.
Yeah.
oh, you caught a fish? Tell me about that. Or whatever
right,
it was.
right.
I think also he just reiterated wonder. Wonder.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder is so good. Just be in awe and love it.
Right.
like just be there and present and loving the environment that you're in.
I think that has been probably my biggest takeaway, or just because I feel like I used to, like a few weeks ago,
changed so much.
I know, have an agenda when I go outside with my kids.
Yeah.
That I want to take this hike or go this far.
Yeah.
Or have them have a good attitude or whatever the agenda is, my agenda. But really, I should be just letting us like experience, just like let the kids lead, and wherever it takes us is fine. And if we stay in one place, but explore a little, explore and do like what's interesting to them in that place, that's great. We had a good experience.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, it's so easy to make plans because, I mean, even nature centers have things set up for you. And you're like, well, I want you to take advantage of all the stuff they have here for you. But really, there might just be this one thing that they are fixated on. And then you can let them go deep into that one thing maybe. And that's better than anything else maybe that day.
Right.
They will probably remember that so much more.
For sure.
A mentoring tip that I thought was so good was, have a positive outlook, and very good. But also for older kids, help them be part of the solution.
Yeah.
Because kids, especially older kids, like he was talking about middle childhood to teenagers, really want to be part of the solution.
Right. And they can.
They're
old enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to tell you, I think this is where it takes work. Because, I've even looked into, for my oldest child, ways that she can volunteer at, humane societies and, like horse farms, or just places where she's really interested in being outside. Yeah. And it's just, things are not set up for that.
They're not.
Yeah.
I've looked into that too.
Yeah. So I think it takes some maybe creativity and persistence with parents to do that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there are ways we can do that. Simple ways like, recycling, or I mean, there are lots of things every day we can do. But I think, and kids can be part of that too, figuring out, how am I going to do this?
Right. I think he said, and I don't know if I can't remember when this was, what chapter, but like asking them what they care about. Like what really interests you? And for like your daughter, maybe it's horses or whatever. And then what would you like to do with horses? Or, and so asking each kid, what really interests you in nature? Right. So how can we explore that?
Yeah, that's so good. I have to remember that. So
I know.
All right.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah, it was fun and eye-opening, and I think with all these, with the especially nonfiction books, I really want to take in every single thing that I just learned, and but when there's like a fire hose blasting at you, you're not going to get it all. Not going to get it all, but we have to just take a few drops at a time, and use that, for now, and then maybe add a few more things in at a time.
I feel like it's a success if I get one good nugget that I'm going to use going forward. I feel like that's a success.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to loving this week.
All right. Yeah. Angela, what are you loving this week?
All right. I am loving a computer case and keyboard cover.
Yay!
Because about a month or two ago, one of my kids spilled water on one of our laptops.
Oh, gosh.
Just, it was really innocent. There's a glass of water sitting next and it just spilled. And I thought, I cannot believe this hasn't happened before.
That's true. So true.
And I brought it into the Apple store and they were like, yeah, that's going to be like $800 to fix. I know. Which is like the cost of a new laptop.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, we have to do something about this. So you were like, well, I have this computer cover and a keyboard cover that you should get.
Yeah.
And so I did. I just did. And I'm thinking, why didn't I do this before?
Oh, yeah.
So all it is it covers your keyboard.
I know.
And
did you get the thing for the outside too?
I got the outside and the keyboard
for
cover.
your case too, yeah. For the
I got it all. Why has this taken me so long?
I know. Well, when I texted you that, I mean, I had just gotten mine too. Because I had just replaced a computer, got a new one, and I was like, I am not screwing this up.
Yeah, well, I feel like this wouldn't completely prevent spills, but it would do. If I had this on the other computer,
it may have saved it.
It may have saved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you should all get one, and they're in fun colors. So, yeah.
So that's fun too. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Right?
Kind of fun. Yeah.
What color did you get? Just wondering.
It's red, and I liked yours. You got like the wood grain one.
I got a wood grain one. Yeah.
I think my computer's a little. I had to get in my type of computer. They didn't have that many cool options. They have like every color, and then a lot of the designs I didn't really like them.
Yeah.
As much.
Yeah.
But I liked the red. I don't know why.
I know.
That's what I got.
You do get a lot of red stuff.
I know. I kind of tend to be drawn to that.
You do.
Anyway, what are you loving this week, Maren?
I'm loving a new movie theater in town.
Oh.
It's called the Alamo Drafthouse.
Okay. Tell me about it, because I've never been.
Okay, so this movie theater originated in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And so it's been there for years. Austin people, correct me if I'm wrong. But it's like this, there's like kind of a cult following of people who love the Alamo Drafthouse in Austin, Texas. My husband Sean, he goes there a lot for work. So the last time I came with him to Austin, he made me go to this movie theater.
Okay.
He's like, it's the coolest place.
What's so cool about it?
Well, first of all, I mean, you have the biggest thing is that they have like it's a lot of beers, right?
Okay.
Craft beers. That's what they're like. I mean, it's a draft house, right? Alamo Drafthouse.
Okay.
But they also have like a really good food. It's not like movie theater food. It's like really good. It's like a chef made food.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So really, really good food. And then they have this cool system because it's very old school. They have this system where you write it on a piece of paper. You don't use digital stuff. You just write on a piece of paper and stick it in your little slot in front of you, and they come and get it, and then they bring you your food
while you're watching the movie.
Yeah, I mean, you can order ahead of time too. So you can if you get there early, it kind of works out better for you.
Okay,
but so you can order ahead of time and stuff. But they just have like these rules, like you cannot talk. There's no talking. If you get you get like one warning, and then you get kicked out if you're going to talk. So I don't know. It's just
during the movie.
Yeah, during the movie. Like, and I think that's just because that was the rule. Like, when this place started, so it's just kind of a thing now.
Yeah,
I don't know. But they also play just lots of fun movies, like old movies, kind of kitschy movies, like
really?
They'll play they play Jaws or like Back to the Future, things like that too. So they have some new movies, some old movies, and
that's cool.
Yeah,
have you been
it's
once?
An experience. We did, yeah. Well, I went once in Austin.
Yeah,
and we just went here. Yeah, and we went to go see.
What'd you see?
We went to go see, the whole family went to go see the Mr. Rogers movie.
Oh, yeah. This was on your birthday.
This was on my birthday because I got to pick. So that's when we went to go see. It was great because they were in training. It's a brand new place here. So like it was $5 tickets and
really?
Cheap food that night, thankfully.
Okay.
But it's not a place I'd probably bring my kids anymore because it's expensive. I mean, the food is, it's not like a cheap place to go eat.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I love this because there's a different movie theater that we like to go to that has the recliner seats. I've talked about this before.
Oh, yes.
They also have food. I love that idea, but I'm like, I don't like this. greasy
Yeah.
food.
I know.
Like, it's just the lowest quality
Right.
food. So I don't eat the food. I don't.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, mostly because I can't because of.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. So, but I would love a place with good food.
Yes. Yeah, it's really good food.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it.
It's an experience, you know. It's not just going to the movies. It's just, you know, the whole thing.
Well, I feel like movie people, whoever they are, they need to like create ways to get us to the movies.
Right.
Because now you can just watch a movie in your house for easy and cheap. Much cheaper.
Exactly.
So how are you going to get me there? You've got to make it a great experience.
Well, you know, for Sean's birthday, we got him Movie Pass.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Didn't I just hear they thought they like
they changed? Well, they've changed a lot of their stuff now. They changed it. So I don't know if he's going to keep you doing it. Well, actually, so it was like $9.99 a month. And and it was unlimited movies. You could go to any movie you wanted. Yeah. So they just changed that. You can now go to 3 movies a month. And like some of them are more expensive. So I think he's going to quit that. But he's going to do the AM. You know, Sean's one thing that he likes to do outside of work is go see movies. So I think he was thinking of maybe going to do the AMC one.
Oh, what's that?
It's just like, I don't know. It's a membership thing where you get to go see as many movies as you actually want.
Okay. So, interesting.
I don't know.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for listening. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Homeschool Unrefined. You can also find us on our website, which is homeschoolunrefined.com. And we have links to everything that we talked about there. Yeah. So we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Homeschool Unrefined was created by Maren Gorse and Angela Sizer. Thanks to Gambler's Daughter for providing the music for our show. You can find Gambler's Daughter at facebook.com/gamblersdaugghtermusic.